business. Today's resource person is Professor Monica Srivastava, Professor and Coordinator FDP from GHS MIR India. Her topic is Innovating Training Methods. To know more about our eminent person, I invite Dr. Abhijit Mishra, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, SSPG College, Shahjahanpur, India, to introduce her to the audience. Sir, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to welcome the resource person of today's program, Dr. Professor Monica Srivastava, ma'am. I heartily welcome, ma'am, on behalf of SSPG College and all our associates, those who have there in the program. I welcome Monica, ma'am. She is a professor in Dr. Gaur Hari Singh Sindhania Institute of Management and Research, Kanpur. She has a teaching experience of more than 22 years in graduate and postgraduate level. She has a research experience of 4 years. She is a member and chair of FTP and MTP and Newsletter Counseling Cell and Women Grievance Cell in their institute. Ma'am has presented 25 national and international papers across the world. She has presented her papers in Osamiya University, IIM Kozhikode, IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Raipur, Lucknow University, and Bhutan itself. Her books are published in journals, and her journals and books are published. Counting is 9. Her area of research is organizational commitment, stress, well-being. She is the member. She has cooperated an experience of training and consulting about more than 50 MTPs and FTPs in various government and non-government institutes, various research institutes all across the globe. Now I would like to call upon the ma'am to be on the today's program. Please welcome Monica, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Abhijit Mishra ji, for your wonderful introduction about our ma'am. Once again, on behalf of everyone, I request Dr. Monica ma'am to start her session. Madam, please.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my window. PPT is here. Yeah.
Hello.
I hope it is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and I'm audible too.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
My greetings to the chief guest who shall be joining, I think, just after some time. Dr. Hamid Sarami, Vice Chancellor, Asghar Educational Institution from Iran. Guest of honor, Dr. Mario from Switzerland, Dr. Ali Khan Mahmood, Professor at Ashoka University. Suppose he will be also joining very soon. And greetings to the patrons and convener of this FDP, Professor A.K. Mishra, Principal SSPG College, Dr. M.G. Raghunathan, Principal Guru Nanak College, Mr. Visheshwar Acharya ji, CEO of Global Academy, and most importantly, the hardworking convener who have worked quite a lot for this FDP, Mr. Dr. Vineet Kumar from Sahitya Darshan Sansthan, Dr. Anurag Agrawal from Department of Commerce, SSPG College, Madam Maya Lakshmi from Guru Nanak College. My special reverence to the resource person who have enlightened the participants in the 7-day program, Professor Nabawo Ji from Nigeria, Dr. Virenand Epok from Oman, Dr. Madhavan from Nepal, then Dr. Abbas from Indian Council of Philanthropic Research, Dr. Burani, and Dr. Shravan Kumar from Amity University, India. And of course, the inspiring introductory session by Colonel Dr. V.R.K. Prasad, Vice Chancellor, ICFI University, Meghalaya. My special greetings to Dr. Uma Devi, Associate Professor, who was connecting with everyone every day, Dr. Radhika, Head Department of English, Dr. Mishra, who used me today, all the esteemed dignitaries and learning faculty, participants accept my wishes and regards. My heartfelt compliments to the whole team of organizing institutes, the 5 big organizing institutes, for creating a platform where all of us can share and learn. I have been closely watching all the previous sessions. They were so interesting, enthusiastic, full of learning, and of course, creative also. The very design and conduct of the FDP was itself very creative. How different institutes came together, the resources were good, and we had such a vast arena of academicians sharing their knowledge. I'm honored to be part of this academic journey, and I wish we remain connected for more such events. Hope to have great interaction with the esteemed faculty members in today's session as well. I have been introduced by Dr. Mishra quite in detail. However, I would like to share some personal aspects before I further my discussion. We have a very beautiful campus at Kanpur, and I invite all of you over here to see how we can create the opportunity. These are the subjects that I am taking up at my institute. These are the responsibilities that I've taken or taking: Faculty Council Coordinator, FDP, MDP, Newsletter Committee, many others. This is research work. An area of my interest is conducting development program. So I have conducted a lot of development program for government and private organization in form of FDP and MDPs. These are some of the areas in which I conduct management development program. This picture is when I am taking a training at a regional center of National Academy of Custom Excise Narcotics and the officers of Central Customs. For the corporates, for the health professionals, healthcare analytics, we have also run programs for doctors. These are some of the faculty development programs that I've conducted on case method, on analytics, on teaching methods. This is one of the recent programs that I have conducted in April this year only on e-resources and innovative training methods. In the beginning, before the session, Professor Acharya was referring to the summit that we organized, that is HR Summit, and we organize it on a regular basis to have a dialogue between professionals and academicians, and having it on 12th of September 2020. But this will be an e-summit because of the prevailing pandemic. The highlights will be talk from industry experts, paper presentations, and awards will be given to the professionals from very large industry. Hope you all to meet virtually again on this platform. The details will be soon available on our website, which is in here, www.ghsimr.ac.in. About family, I have 2 daughters. Both of them are interested in cricket, basketball, and a lot of games. And it's just our personal thoughts. And in center, this picture of the students from Nepal. Last October, I visited Nobel Academy, and I had a fantastic interaction with the students over there, bright and bubbling with energy. My profile is represents. I'm available on LinkedIn, Google Scholar, and many others. Participants. Just something about me now. About the participants, Dr. Maya and Dr. Shad has conveyed me that the participants of this program are coming from varied departments: commerce, humanities, business management, science, and almost all the states of India are represented from Nagaland, Chandigarh, Andhra Pradesh. I've seen the chat also. People keep on posting, and that's so good. So many countries are participating. And the most interesting thing is that everyone is active on chat and voice also. So welcome participants. As there will be a lot of involvement and activities in the session, so I request you all to keep a plain paper and pencil ready with you. The session, let me share with you a story. Fisherman and the King. As King Parvez and Queen Shireen were sitting in the palace one day, as King Parvez and Queen Shireen were sitting in the palace one day, a fisherman who was selling beautiful fish was brought in front of them. King Parvez decided to buy a fish and give the fisherman 400 dirham for it. The fisherman was overjoyed. He thanked King Parvez and left. Queen Shireen turned to her husband in anger and scolded him for paying so much for a fish. King Parvez let her have her say, but said that the fish was purchased and that there was nothing that could be done about it now. He wanted to just get rid of it. However, the Queen Shireen was adamant and insisted that the fisherman be brought back. We will ask the fisherman about the gender of the fish, and she said, if he answered that it is female, we will say that we wanted a male fish, and if his response will be male, then we will say that we wanted a female. Either way, we will be able to return the fish and have the money back. So she tried to apply her brain. The poor fisherman was called back and was asked the question. Fortunately, he was clever enough not to be caught. Fisherman replied, the fish is unique in the sense that it is neutral. Intelligent fisherman. He is neither male nor female. King Parvez was so impressed by this intelligent man that he ordered further 400 dirham to be paid to him. The fisherman thanked the king again, but he was about to leave with a heavy bag of money. One of the coins fell onto the floor. The fisherman immediately bent down to look for the coin. Queen Shireen was already upset that the fisherman has got 8,000 dirham. Look how miserly this man is. Queen Shireen explained. One coin has fallen down and he has full bag full of money. Instead of leaving it for someone poor, he's searching. Fisherman heard her remark and said, "O Queen, it is not out of the miserliness that I am searching the coin, but because it has a picture of generous King Parvez on it. I would not tolerate anyone to cause dishonor to King Parvez by treading it on the coin." King Parvez was so flattered with the response that he immediately called for another 4,000 dirham to be given to the fisherman. When Queen Shireen saw this, she thought it was better to hold her tongue now and let the fisherman go with 12,000 dirham before the king decided to increase the amount again. So the intelligent fisherman, how he won. The lesson from this is speech is an art. If one knows when and how to speak, then a person can be successful, can be a winner. It is important to know what to say, how to say, when to say, especially for us who are teachers and our bread and butter is earned by these skills. Today's session will focus on this aspect of our profession, that is how to say, including various innovative terminology. Content will be innovative methods, the methodology will be varied and interactive, and the outcome that I expect is that we will have better understanding of students' expectation and comfort in using the innovative methods of teaching. Challenge for faculty members. These are two perennial challenges: capturing student attention, making learning long-lived. For this to happen, classroom experience should be redefined. Innovative ideas that make teaching method more effective should be implemented. We see more this problem coming up, especially when we are using online methodologies for teaching, capturing student attention and making learning long. So here are some innovative ideas that will help teachers reinvent their teaching methods and make their class interesting. We have to make our teaching creative. Creative tools can be used to stimulate creativity. Playful games can be used to capture the interest. Visual exercises can excite the young minds, and activities where they can explore. Research says by investing time and effort, creativity can be brought in all subjects, be it maths, science, or history. Though I'm a person of humanities and management, I find a lot of application, but its scope is there in almost all the fields. Some of the methods that we are going to discuss today, though in brief, will be stories, games and activities, role play, audio-visual aids, and case study. Storyboard can be used. Rudyard Kipling rightly said, if history were taught in the form of stories, it would never be forgotten. Storyboard is a great way to teach subjects. It requires step-by-step memorization or visualization of highly conceptual ideas. So teachers can use creativity through storyboards. When we are using stories, we can have this in mind that why students or all of us watch movies. It's just the interest that they are able to keep. So we can keep their interest by involving things like stories. But important point is when we are having those stories, they should relate to the content. And if we put in a little effort, we can always relate some or the other aspect of the story with the content, and then we can go ahead with the content. The tips for using stories: it should match with the learning objective. It should act as a stimulant to the group. It should develop wider outlook of the situation and issues, like the things that they are going to face in job. Here is little anatomy and biology about the impact of storytelling on brain. Neural coupling is there. A story activates parts in the brain that allows the listener to turn the story into their head, their own ideas and experience. And the neural coupling means the two things get connected. Mirroring, listening will not only experience the similar brain activity to each other, but also to the speaker. Means a lot of things get connected, associated. Association is also a good way of learning. Dopamine activity and cortex. When processing facts, two areas of the brain are activated, Broca and Wernicke area. A well-told story can engage in many additional areas, including the motor cortex, sensory cortex, and frontal cortex. So that's not my area, but that is what I got. So I'm sharing that it has to do with the neural functioning as well. Corporates are also using stories. Successful organizations like Microsoft, Motorola, Berkshire Hathaway, Procter & Gamble, and even organizations like NASA, World Bank use storytelling as intentional leadership tool. They are being trained, people are being trained on storytelling. executives of storytelling as business students are not honed on this skill at their schools. These are some of the good sources from where we can get stories. Though we will have to put a lot of effort, read the various stories and then relate. We can also craft. Writing stories more difficult, but then it can be done. Anyway, it is all the purview of the teacher whether they want to take the already scripted story or they want to design any, depending on their abilities and the time and resources they have at their disposal. See, because I'm into HR, I teach HR, so these very simple and common stories I keep on using, and then there can be other stories from these platforms I do hire, take up, and like birds flying together or teamwork, company. Like Hakim Lukman has given so many beautiful stories, loads of wood, how people couldn't break because they were together. So these are few ones. And well, I also started after understanding a couple of years back the importance of story. I started telling stories in my class, and then I also started students for making these recitation and storytelling. Is just one glimpse of storytelling competition. Very nice stories were crafted and recited by students. These are some of the references where I have taken this content from about story, important story, and other things. So this was story as a method of teaching. Next, games and activities. A stimulating class environment has a prime role in learning and development. We cannot expect young minds to sit all the day and learn. We have to make creative and stimulating environment that will help students to explore and will encourage them to learn about the subject. Game and activities bring fun and engage and help to stimulate students' mind for better learning. Last very important line, an environment that positively impacts the children is beneficial for the teachers as well. If our students are happy, engaged, then we also feel good about it and motivated. These are some of the games that one can try. They are available on internet. You can make minor modification. You can also design your own games. I think you all must be using in some variation all these methods, because I see most of the faculty members are very senior, just as good brushing over these things. I will discuss one game which I have modified to my requirement, that is Risk Your Throw. Whenever we develop a game, it should be developed under these 5 important heads. What is the objective of the game, why we are actually playing, what will be the rules, proper rules need to be drafted, what will be logistic requirements so that they are procured before time, what will be the scoring procedure, scoring sheets and all. So I'm describing this game to Risk Your Throw, reading step by step. Objective. The objective of this game is to enable learner to demonstrate the skills needed to take calculated risk. Rules: each participant given to throw ball in the basket. A basket will be there, balls will be there in the hands of say players or the students, and they have to throw ball in the basket from a distance. There will be 10 steps at certain distance from the basket. Step 1 is the nearest and step 10 is the farthest. Each step denotes the amount of risk taken, which is equivalent to the point gained if the ball falls in the basket. I will just show you the diagram and then come back to the reading. So this target is the basket, and these are the steps from which the participant will throw. They can throw from, if one throws from step 1, it is easiest, full and final. You can always throw it. But if the person is throwing from a distance of 8 or 10, the probability of getting into the basket is low as compared to from 1 and 2. So the higher the The more the distance, the more the risk. But the calculation, the scores will be done that something like this: that if a person goes from 7, and if he gets the basket, he will get 7 points. If he throws from 10th position, and if he is successful, he will get 10 points. Means more the risk, more returns. If you take lower risk, that is throw from point 2 to 3, you may get the basket, but the scores that you are getting will be only 2 and 3, which is lower. Let me come back again to the content. Each step denotes the amount of risk taken, which is equal to the point gained. If the ball falls in the basket, as the distance of step 10 is farthest from basket, there is high probability of failure as compared to step 1, which is closest. Therefore, step 10 depicts high risk and step 1 depicts low risk. If the ball falls in the basket, participant gains point equivalent to the risk step from where it throws the ball. There is no negative point in case the ball does not fall in the basket. The with the highest total point will be the winner, and there will be 3 attempts. So there's no negative point. If you are successful in throwing in the basket, you will get the point depending on the step from where you have thrown. The judge's decision will be final, which is usually the cricket team member, but you can invite other people also. Then the requirement for this game is 3 paper balls or maybe plastic balls, whatever you want to use, marker to mark the step, paper, clipboard, pen for judges, 1 basket if available. You can just make a ring also, that can also do. The scoring procedure will be specified and made clear. Only 1 point will be given for each successful attempt, 0 point for unsuccessful attempt. Point given will be multiplied with the step from where the ball is thrown. So this is how scoring is done. So we have all the details ready with us, and then we also have a scoring sheet where you can write the name, the scores, and maybe if there's any remark. If there are many attempts, you can add on and then decide who is the winner. So the game which I just explained is on risk taking, how students are taking risk. Another game which I commonly play with the students is tic-tac-toe. This is just giving you a glimpse of how students are enjoying the game. They are actually into 3 groups. 3 groups, and they have to be in a straight line. They have to stand in a straight line. The group has to stand in a straight line. Something like a 0 and cross that we play on paper. It is human tic-tac-toe. And students quickly learn how to make decision, how to make a strategy so that they stand in a row. These games are very useful for behavioral skills, interpersonal skills, and of course for planning and strategy. After every game, it is important that we brief the students about the learnings from the game and its relation to the course content. Otherwise, students will never miss a chance of saying that ma'am doesn't teach, we only play. So first of all, we have to design also in such a manner, and then after the game, we will have to relate. We should also discuss their experiences post-game. So this was about games and activities. Now we come to role play. Role play is another very interesting exercise. And so I will just give you some detail of the role play, one of the role play. Case 1, the students coming late to class. Again, a very common problem. There are 4 characters in this role play, a teacher, 2 students. One will be coming late and the other will be in support. Always find such supporters in the class. And then head of department who will be on inspection of the class. So a teacher is there taking the class. There are students. 2 students are highlighted. That is, one is coming late, the other is a supporter, classmate, and the head of department. So when we are again designing a role play, we have to write all these things beforehand, be prepared with it. Problem: when students come to class late, it can disrupt the flow of a lecture or discussion. distract other students, impede learning, and generally erode class morale. However, if unchecked, lateness can become chronic and spread throughout the class because there are a number of possible reasons students arrive to class late, considering which causes which causes are the root of the problem is held by instructors to appropriately design strategy and response to it. So, if we can get to know what are the causes, what are the possible reasons through this role play, what can be better? The description of the situation. A teacher is teaching in the class, and after 5-10 minutes, a student comes in class. A warm argument takes place between the teacher and the latecomer for being late for the class. At that time, another student stood up who will be in support of the latecomer. Meanwhile, the head of department arrives and the conversation begins among them. So now 4 of them are interacting. Time required is when we give this idea, then after this idea, some time is given to the participant to mentally prepare for them, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes for enactment. Firstly, 4 people, persons from the audience will be chosen for the role of teacher, student, head of department. The rest will remain audience as a class. A time interval of 5 minutes will be given to each of the person to think about their conversation with the help of instructor. The instructor will instruct the time of action of each person. Any type of material needed will be provided by the instructor. The whole act should take place in 10 minutes. After completion of act, the audience will be allowed to put their opinion about that. The discussion will take place and we will discuss the conclusion and outcome of that. This is again very important that once there is enactment, I have found that this enactment creates very good, say light and interactive environment in the class, and they are also prone to new learnings after these sessions. Every teacher at least once come across students who are regularly coming late to the class. They have to be handled. This exercise will help in understanding students' perspective also and handling the problem in control setting. The discussion part will help them to have reflection on the reactions of their colleagues. Actually, this role play is meant for FDPs only, where the teachers are sitting and they are playing the role of student, head of department, as well as the teacher itself. So they can understand the mindset of a student. We can, of course, play the game, this role play, if all of you are interested. Though the number of participants is big, but we can also play virtually. And I've played a lot of role plays virtually also on, say, these platforms. So if interested, maybe towards the end we can have. I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. This is Confucius. I'm giving the importance of role play. Doing it. We are learning by doing. Definition of role play. Role play is a method by which learners participate in an unrehearsed dramatization, acting out an assigned part of character as they think the character would act in reality. This method of teaching is intended to arouse feelings, elicit emotions, and achieve behavioral objectives. Role play is a method that teaches learners real-life situations to develop understanding of other people. In my subjects, I usually have role plays for collective bargaining. That is when the discussion between the management, the HR person, and the workers is going on. What preparation should be there. Then there can be for closing a sales deal. Then mock interviews we conduct. How an HR person conducts the interview. For that we conduct role plays for the students. So these are some of the areas where I use role play.
Yes,
Which these are the situation in which the students are going to come and realize. People learn through observing others' behavior, attitude, and outcomes of those behavior. And social learning theorist Albert Bandura says that people learn from one another through observation, imitation, and modeling. And when we act, when we enact, maybe as a consumer, maybe as a parent, maybe as a teacher, then we have more understanding of that role. And when suppose if a student has handled some role plays on, say, customer handling, he will be more prepared, like understanding customers' perspective as well as how he should behave as a salesperson also. When role play can be used for delegation, for assertiveness, for scientific understanding, for communication, for empathy. Empathy is a big area. So, of course, role play is very useful in building empathy. It gives learners the opportunity to explore feelings and attitudes. Benefits: chance to explore feelings and attitude, bridging the gap between understanding and feeling. This gap, because every situation has a feeling element also. While we are using other methodologies, we may be hitting the cognitive but not the affective aspect. In role play, we are hitting both the aspects. Collaborative learning takes place. Interpersonal skills, which are not so easy, can be groomed through role play. Active learning is there, because you're part of it. Immediate feedback you can have. Student take interest and involvement is there. Students should become active participants, and role play is a very good method for letting them so. Well, there are certain complexities, certain challenges also of this method. Like teachers can direct or limit the learner. Maybe if we involve, we interfere, there can be that true self may not come. Maybe inaccurate due to real life experience. Maybe their experience and real life experience is different, or maybe whatever they are being taught, maybe in confined situation, is very different from what will be real life. We cannot have a role play for a big group, only 4 to 5. We can have maybe 6, not more than that. Other students can only work as audience. High expectations are there, and there are a lot of scenarios in which people don't come up because they have performance anxiety. You have to actually push people to come for the role play. Students say, no, I will not. So, but then I have also tried role play for very senior corporate people. Though pushing is needed, but once they come up, they do fantastic work, marvelous performance. Offer a relevant scenario to students. Usually when you talk, you should give some mindset to them that in this scenario it is to be taken up. Some time for preparation can be given, and we should always have deliberation after it. Like if the faculty says it's during the role play, if someone says this is the cause of me coming late, or someone says this is the reason I'm defending, there may be reason to it, and more explanation to those reasons can be done. This is something very interesting, that a risk-free environment is provided. When we are trying this within the faculty members, then we can speak at a higher pitch, we can understand the student's perspective, we can share our own perspective, the HOD's perspective. It's a whole risk-free environment where you can try. So whether it is for this typical case or otherwise, you can have good exposure before actually getting to real life scenario. It builds skills while applying theoretical knowledge in control situation. So these are some of the areas, as I've already told, I use it role play. Yeah. Apart from the points that I've discussed, role play, stories and games, these can also be used Yeah, now I have this activity for you. Quickly see the difference in these two pictures. You can put it on chat box, the differences that you see in these two pictures. Okay, there are so many chats coming up. Yeah. Our audience, I want you to write what differences that you see in the picture. Impressive presentation. Okay. The slide is there. Should I go for a full screen view? Okay, I'm going again for a full screen view. Yeah. So I want you all to come. The presentation gone. So let me share it once again. Oh, so it's visible. Oh, that's good, that's good, that's good. Yes, yes, so many of you have responded on it. So now let's see what's the difference between these two. This is on the slide. Yeah, the shape of lamp. In picture one, it's circular. Here it is more rectangular. The color of the string. Then star on the pillow. Well, yes, someone said. Then star on the book here, star on the book. And then the chain. So we can relate this with our present requirement of online teaching, that we have to give things in a different shape. We have to make it more colorful. Had it not been, say these online teachings, we would have not I would have not used so many pictures. Yes, someone saying something? We have to make it more flowery. We have to make it more sparkling. Yeah. Should I?
क्या सर?
Very important.
हाँ सर कर रहा है.
Nothing, ma'am. It's just proceed, ma'am. It's correct.
Yeah. So should I go? Someone was saying something?
No, ma'am, you can proceed now. Ma'am, you can proceed now.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
So now we come to case study. Yeah, I think majority of us must be experimenting with this method of teaching. So I will just quickly go through this method and some important highlights I will just be sharing with you. So case study is an open-ended actual story. It can be actual in the sense that it is presented as an actual. It can be hypothetical also. No ending is given, and a difficult problem, dilemma, or some situation is presented. This was pioneered by Harvard Business School. Forces us into real situation where we have to answer what to do. Allows for exploration, takes a holistic view of situation where sampling can be difficult, so that is there. It gives us flexibility. Watch out, data can be huge. Usually we use smaller case study. There can be longer case studies also, which we know better know as caselets. Advantages of case study method. Numerous advantages, but to read a few. Strong reading skills are developed, analytical skills, logical skills, thinking abilities. decision making can be made better, facilitates learning experiences. Advantages can be, it brings coherence in the thought process when we are just going through the whole thing and then there are problem situations. So holistic approach comes, communication skills can be improved, confidence, public speaking can be brought among students through it, planning implementation. How to solve case study? There have been a lot of workshops and FDPs on writing case, solving case. But my focus will be how should we help our students in understanding and writing the answers to the case. So these are some of the tips which we can forward to the students, that is read, 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 visualize, realize and analyze. Think about the alternatives, what went wrong, why did it happen. These are some of the questions which should be thrown immediately before we even throw the questions of the case. We should tell them there can be multiple solutions. Have an open mindset while presenting a solution. The best aspect of case study, I like this only, that there can be multiple solutions and no one is right or wrong when they are answering the question. Your solution must not be affected by your preconceived notion about success and failure. Give solutions that are relevant and can be practically implemented. How to solve the case study? This is something which we should help our students with. As we discuss case with our fellow students, we should help them and make them learn that it's that you have to put your point, different perspective of people will be coming, take them as they are, learn how to work towards consensus, tolerate legitimate differences of opinion. The final step in the analysis is to develop a plan for effective implementation of your decision. Most of the time we have ideas, but implementation aspect is missing. This again need to be told to the students that they have to have ideas, they have to have plan as well as implementation process. So on this we should also be students. These are the steps on which the students can elaborate their case, read the case thoroughly, define the central issue, define the firm's goal, because nowadays we talk about everything in strategic terms. So even the problems, the solution should be strategically correlated. So firm's goal and or a vision mission should be in center theme while we are talking about the problem and solution. Identify the constraints, identify the relevant alternatives, select the best alternative. Then again, these are the heads, these should be the heads of a written report. While we are discussing the case, giving the case to the students, these can be given beforehand or maybe during after the case discussion so that students are able to make the best use of it. Executive summary, again it can be optional, but it's better that we have a summary of the case, some important points, problem statements, specific problems can be stated, what can be the alternatives, maybe 2-3 alternatives, conclusion, and lastly, very important, plan of implementation. Outline a plan of action that will lead to effective implementation of the decision so that the reader can see not only why they choose a particular alternative, but also how to work upon it. So, understanding the paucity of time are just a few of the points. These are the sources from which I have got the content to share with you. Now we come to audiovisual material. Audiovisual material again, with the online sessions, we have so many, sources available and things like film strip, movies, infographics, they can be used. Videos, I have found students are very much interested in videos, short videos, vignettes which we call. So online sessions can make help of it. so many smart. Yesterday only you must have got so much of ideas on e-resources available. These are some of the sources, many more available. Just this is something very personal I would like to share with you all, and I also like to get your ideas that why can't we start our sessions with some advertisement? Maybe the Airtel advertisement which is coming, that how they are reducing the complaints in number, or maybe something like Netflix serial, Sacred Game, Korean pop, emojis, memes that we use in day-to-day life. I found that these things click more. Well, we will have to bring them back to the content, and that's all the skill of the teacher. But we can always have these new ideas which is more relatable to the students while we start our sessions. Other methods which we can use can be group discussion, sensitivity training, seminars. Group discussion I found very interesting methods. We can have it as a panel also. Poem, syndicate, CBT. Yeah, here we are. We do talk about creative methods. Some we know, some we can explore, but there's no end to innovativeness and creativity. So we'll have to keep on creating newer and newer methods. So for this, we can collaborate with colleagues. We can ask our colleagues, we can sit with them, we can share our ideas and get their ideas. We can get ideas from the students as well. We can brainstorm with the students. We can have interest clubs and groups. So way of having more creativity and innovation in teaching, because all the available material will have some its limitations, some of its limitations. We have to be continuously generating creative ideas for having involvement of students, because the coming generation, the younger generation, is much more creative, agile, and as well as open to experience. So I have just talked to you about few of the methods, and now let's correlate what we did with the theoretical construct, the theorists, what they have to say about learning and innovative methods. We will talk about andragogy and Klopp's learning style. Malcolm Knowles says that teaching of adults is different. The way we teach younger people is different, and the adults, that is the students, which majority of faculty members over here will be dealing, will be different. And how is different? The age is different. They are resistant to change. Monologue they don't want. They want to be active participant of the teaching. We have to accept that they are equally knowledgeable and their contribution can be useful for the group. Coping mechanisms are unavoidable. When we are open and very innovative, there can be some negative or indisciplined things may come up. We should be prepared to handle it. And we should also be prepared with alternative methods while we are handling adults or students who are at graduate and postgraduate level. VAK learning style. 3 major senses are involved in learning, that is vision, auditory and kinesthetics. That is, we receive information through eyes, through ears, and through our bodily movements, through activity. We all have some or the other style, though we use all the 3 sensory organisms, but one or the other is more dominant. Maybe one person learns more easily when he listens, the other when he sees. So likewise, the style may be dominant. Difference in styles may be there. This may not be same for the same task. Maybe few things we can have learn better through auditory senses. Few things we learn better through kinesthetics. Prefer one style of learning for one task and combination of other for another task. Like I was talking about the role play. Role playing is in one kinesthetics. activities involving kinesthetics. So when we are into interpersonal skills or communication, we can use these styles. So what we have to do is we have to involve multiple senses. If we have different pedagogy in our basket, we can involve more of senses of the respondent or the participants. And when more multiple senses are involved, the learning is also longer. These are the possible styles of learning by doing, by watching, by feeling and thinking. This is what Locke has to say. These are the four, again, learning style: activist, reflector, theorist, pragmatist. The diagram will follow, which will make the things clear. That is doing and feeling, concrete, watching and doing, watching and thinking, thinking and doing. So here's the diagram. Locke says that we have four types of learners or learning styles, and then there are combinations. Concrete experience, when emotional element is very strong, then watching, then thinking, and then doing, experimentation. Here's accommodating style, where people learn by feeling and doing. The emotional element is in, and they are doing. Their kinesthetics are also involved, motor skills are also involved. So there's a combination that is called accommodating. Then there's a combination of diverging, where people feel and watch. They are watching, their vision is active, and then they are also emotionally feeling and connecting. Then another combination, that is thinking and watching, that is assimilating. You're thinking and watching. Then the fourth, pragmatist, doing and thinking. Doing and thinking, doing and feeling and watching, watching and thinking. Now I will relate how these learning styles can be catered through our different pedagogy that we have already taken now. These are four styles and the combination. When we are using role play, we are using feeling and doing element. People are emotionally charged, they are doing. I've seen when people go into their roles, they identify so much. At times students fight for the sake of workers, as if they will not fight at the top of their pitch, their workers will be deprived. So that's the role of say emotional connect they have when they are into role play. So feeling and doing. Even case study has some element of feeling and doing. Case study discussion, when we are on the discussion of case study. Then watching and feeling. Group discussions, audio videos. These methodologies are serving these diverging, or you can say watching and feeling type of learners. Then thinking and doing. They're thinking and they're doing. Like games and activities are meant for such learners who depend on thinking and doing for learning. And then we have thinking and watching. When we are using lectures, case study presentations, stories, the people are thinking and watching. So this is how we are serving their need. So we see that multiple methodologies can serve multiple type of learners with divergent learning styles. So we have had so much of theory and maybe some activities also we have had. Now I have a small exercise for you. Identify the words which relate to the teacher's trait and what students expect from you in the class. Take 5 minutes and identify as much words as possible. The words are from upside down, downside up, left to right, right to left. You can write on the chat box, or you may write it on the piece of paper that you have. And let's see towards then how many people have it. found how many words from this crossword puzzle. These are some of the traits of the teachers. I want senior teachers also to get involved in it. I will be giving some time. I think few of you must have explored few words from this. Yeah, good, right. I want involvement of all. You can try this. This is a good activity. Even I enjoy. So should I show the right answers now? Or you would like to take more time? Someone can open the speaker because I'm on a full screen view.
No, I think we can wait for 2 more minutes.
Okay, a few more minutes you want. That's good. That's good.
Because all are writing very fast.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So nice.
Yeah. Very good going from the participants. Very nice. Expressive, motivator. Ramakant sir has written three words. Very good. Very nice. Very good participation. Good going.
Yeah. So I have seen the participation has been very good.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. 1 more minute we are giving.
Actually, ma'am, it is very interesting.
I think they have picked up all the.
Yes.
Oh my God. So that's great. Yes. And I should now show them the right answers. Nah.
Yes, ma'am.
So here are the right answers. Yeah. Like this also you can see there are 20 words coming from the passwords. Humorous, knowledgeable, motivator, mentor, contemporary, competent, communicable, open, leader, impartial, unbiased, positive, creative, caring, qualified, presentable, expressive, flexible, sincere, and adaptable. So many expectations students have from us teachers, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so so thank you so much for your safe participation in this quiz. And let me see the chat box as well. So,
Dharmendra Kumar sir, can you please stop presenting, sir? Because we are not able to see ma'am's slide.
Kalpana Madam, Dimple Khosla, Maya Pillai, Dev. So many people have responded. Hema Ravi, I am not able to name everyone.
Yes.
Sujata, so many people qualified. Oh, I'm really impressed. In such a short time, you all have responded so well. So, if Dharmendra Singh allows me, then I will go for
Sir, Dharmendra Kumar Singh, sir, please.
I just need some ideas.
I'm maybe he has done. This is
Dharmendra Kumar Singh, sir.
Yeah, please, organizers kindly remove him and press enter again. Maybe he's not able to do it, how to unpresent himself, please. Can organizers please, Divyansh ji, kindly, sir, Dharmendra Kumar sir, kindly stop presenting. You can leave meeting and rejoin, sir. It will be easy for you.
Yes, sir.
should we rejoin?
No,
He
ma'am.
should do.
He should do it, ma'am. Dharmendra Kumar sir.
Is it audible to him?
Yeah, he is right now unable to do it. What you can do is
I think our chief guest, Professor Hamid Sarami, has also joined, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
yeah. Dharmendra,
Welcome, sir. A very warm welcome, sir. Is able to hear.
So I am just up to my presentation.
Yeah, Monica ma'am, you can share now, yes.
Yeah, I'm just a few slides left. So after this quiz, important learning from this is that students have so much of expectation and we should design our strategy likewise. These are my concluding lines. To become proficient in these innovative programs, one day program for each method is needed. So whatever time I have, tried to give my best in this time, and I hope we can meet some other time where we have a full day exercise where we can become more proficient and more comfortable with these methodologies. Especially, I like the storytelling and role play should be more aggressively used by the faculty members in their real-time classes. I thank you all for giving me this opportunity to interact with such enthusiastic teachers and learners. Thank you very much. Kahani abhi baki hai. How can a teacher complete the lesson without evaluation? So here's assessment and now the real test. All the participants may quickly write answers to this quiz in true and false. You just write on a paper the serial number and answer. I will show you the right answers in the next slide. I request your participation, all of you, that you can write serial number 1, T or F, on piece of paper on the chat box.
Yeah.
These questions are based, yes, these questions are based on the session that I've already taken up.
Very good. Participants are just answering. Yes. Yes. We can just go to the next question. 1, 2, 3 together. Or
Yeah. You can answer all. I think they're answering the first alone.
Yes. Yes, nice.
This is basically for self-evaluation. You can find how much you have gained or how much you have learned from the session. Had it been one-to-one in real time, we would have evaluated then and there.
Very nice. Hema has done one shot all.
That's good.
Yeah.
Very bright. Actually, the brightest of minds are into academics. And actually, they should be into academics.
Yes. Amit Selvan also. That's it. Yes, ma'am. I think they have all
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just sharing the key to these answers. So story method focuses on thinking and doing. Yeah. Sorry, it is false. The answer is false. Story method focuses on thinking and watching. Games can be played in teams as well as individually. Complex games should not be tried. Difficult games should not be tried in the class. Playful attitude should be encouraged. Local language can be used. Attention span is not that long, whether it's adults or they are younger children, around 1 hour, it is widely said. Humor can be a risky affair, that's right. It is depends. It's better that we try these humor things in, with the faculty members in FDPs before we experiment on the students. Then role play instruction should be provided beforehand. Learning comes from various sources, not only auditory, and visual learners learn by seeing, that is watching. So these are the answers to the questions. And with this, I close the session. Thank you very much. Let's meet again. My warm regards to one and everyone.
Yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank
A big round of applause for your wonderful session, ma'am.
Thank you.
Very, very wonderful, and everybody were involved. It was a very, very brilliant session, as Dominic sir puts it, and you have a lot of appreciation from the participant side too. We all have enjoyed the session right from the starting till the end. We were just expecting what's going to be the next slide, what's going to be the next one. So it was very, very interesting, ma'am. And as you said, speech is an art. With a beautiful story you started, it was very interesting, and we will also surely take into note of what all the methodology that you have, tools that you have given us. So everything was very, very nice, ma'am. And the human tic-tac-toe was something very new for us, which we can do it for our students also. So which will help them developing their interpersonal skills and all the activities, the differences, everything in the case study, everything was very wonderful, ma'am. And you highlighted on creative learning style, visual, auditory and kinesthetic movement. That was also very, very apt. And I'm sure every one of us had a very great session. And we thank once again for your neat and clean presentation, ma'am. As all were telling, we also have a great expectation, and you have just risen to that. Thank you very much, ma'am, from our side, from all of us. Yes, let us move on to the valedictory portion, and over to Dr. Uma Devi, ma'am. Madam, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Again, I second Radhika, ma'am. What a wonderful session. Really, really enjoyed it. And we were thinking, like, yesterday it was an innovative, day before yesterday we had innovative skills. He has given us a lot of inputs. This is also something relating to innovativeness of teaching. So this was extremely, very much different, and how we can go about learning. This was excellent. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Monica, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Moving on. Thank you. Moving on to the valedictory session. Very good afternoon, namaste, vanakkam, and sat sri akal to all the dignitaries and participants across the world. With the blessings of Almighty, I, Dr. Uma Devi, Assistant Professor, Guru Nanak College, extend a very warm welcome to everyone gathered here for the valedictory function of the 7 days International Faculty Program on Creative Thinking and Professional Ethics, jointly organized by Indira Gandhi Study Center, EPOC, Center UGC, Faculty of Commerce and Research, SSPG College, Shahjahanpur, Uttar Pradesh, Novel Academy, Nepal, Sahitya Darshan Sansthan, and Guru Nanak College, Autonomous, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. I welcome the respected patrons, Professor A.K. Mishra ji, Principal, SSPG College, Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Bishweshwar Acharya ji, CEO, Novel Academy, Nepal, our Principal, Dr. M.G. Raghunathan ji, Guru Nanak College, Chennai, Chief Convener, Dr. Anurag Agrawal ji, Head, Department of Commerce, SSPG College, and Conveners, Dr. Vineet Kumar ji, Secretary, Sahitya Darshan Sansthan, and Ms. Maya Lakshmi Pillai, Head Department of Marketing Management, Guru Nanak College. We are deeply honored to have our guest of honor, Dr. Mario, CEO, MBC, Management Consultant, Switzerland, and Dr. Ali Khan Mahmoodabad, Professor, Ashoka University, India, former Doctoral Fellow, University of Cambridge, UK. To fulfill the vision of a beautiful society of free India, develop spirituality, mortality, scientific approach, and commitment among students, and to turn them into qualified and sincere citizens. Late Sri Swami Sukhdevanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj established SSPG College in Uttar Pradesh in 1964. I humbly invite Principal Professor A.K. Mishra Ji of SSPG College, Shahjahanpur, Uttar Pradesh, to welcome the gathering. Sir, please.
नमस्ते। आवाज आ रही है?
जी आ रही है आवाज आपकी।
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You're
Yes, sir.
audible.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to one and all. It's my great pleasure and honor to welcome our guests and delegates on seventh and final day of International Faculty Alumni Program. It is a joint effort of Guru Nanak Dev College, Chennai, IPO Center, UTC, as well as Naval Academy, Nepal, and Sahitya Darshan Sansthan, and Swami Sukhdevanand Postgraduate College, Shahjahanpur. It is a matter of great pleasure again. I feel honored to welcome Honorable Chief Guest and learned academician Dr. Hamid Saremani, Asrar Higher Education Institute, Masr, Iran. I also extend a warm welcome to our guest and honor Dr. Marino B. Catrano, CEO, MBC, Management Consultant, Switzerland, and Dr. Ali Khan, Mahmoodabad Professor, Ashoka University, India, and a former Doctoral Fellow, University of Cambridge, United Kingdom. I also welcome all the resource person and today resource person, Professor Menika Srivastava, Professor and Coordinator, AFDP, GS, IMR, India. The program is designed on a theme of creative thinking and professional ethics. I want to congratulate, first of all, the team of organizing committee, very versatile, Dr. Anurag Agrawal, Chief Convener, a very innovative person and Head Department of Commerce, SSPG College. Dr. Vineet Kumar, Secretary, Sahitya Darshan Sansthan, India. Dr. Maya Lakshmi Pillai, ML Convener, Head Department of Commerce, MM Guru Nanak College. I also heartfelt welcome to our pattern of program, Professor A.M.G. Raghunathan, Principal Guru Nanak College, Autonomous, Chennai, India, and Dr. Viseswar Acharya, Pattern CEO, Naval Academy, Nepal. During last 6 days and 2 days, on 7th day, the various versatile faculty and academicians discussed so many skills of the professional ethics as well as creativity thoughts. Classical thought of creativity and tough professional ethics have been lot discussed by our resource person. They delivered the marvelous and extraordinary exposure by their lectures to our connected fellow. During this, I would like to also welcome all the virtually connected research fellows. Hello. Hello.
जी आपकी आवाज आ रही है आपकी आवाज आ रही है सर
अच्छा
It's audible, sir.
ठीक ठीक वो कुछ उसमें हुआ सो दैट I also welcome to all the virtually connected national and international colleagues, research scholars, and fellows. Once in my mind comes a thought, well, it is divided in two parts, that is creativity and creativity thinking and professional ethics. What is the creativity? It is well known, as Edward de Bono have explained, creativity involves breaking out the established pattern in order to look things in a different way. Once becomes on a creativity, so what is the storage in the mind of a human being of the creativity? Once the creativity, that have been, all these have been discussed in last 6 days in this faculty development program. The various faculty have been increased, and by Dr. Abhijit Misra narrated me what happened and what have been discussion have been made during last 6 days. Creativity, you cannot use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. It is unlimited storage in anyone's mind. And creativity have a lot of storage factor in anywhere, everywhere. Once everywhere in mythology and as per the custom of the life, why came in this existence as a human being? So that in case of creativity, this is used to say that desire of the creative is one of the deepest yearning of human soul. That has been a person who came in society as a human being. He is creating something, and what he is creating, that depend upon what the creativity gives to the society. Doing something creative gives us a instantaneous boost of positivity. The creativity is direct correlated with the positivity of any person, and it comes from brainstorming of any one. So that the creativity is a very challenging and important thing for a human being, as a professor, as a legal advisor, as a chartered accountant, as any medical doctor or any other professor. The natural role of the creativity, once we have to discuss, creativity is a natural extension of our enthusiasm. Whatever the enthusiasm we possess, that is a natural extension of the creativity provides us. How creativity arises? It is a basic question. Necessity is the mother of invention, that everyone we know. But it is true, but father is creativity. Necessity is the mother of invention, but father is creativity, and knowledge is a midwife. How the creativity arises? That we can say by the 3 eyes. Creativity arises. One eye represent intelligence, second eye imagination, and third eye inspiration. Once we come with the first eye as an intelligence, intellectual ability, as well as knowledge and analytic thinking, the intelligence power comes in anyone. And second one, imagination. How is it come? A style of thinking. Environment and anxiety of the persons gives the imagination.
पता है ये तो बता भी नहीं रहे अभी तो काफी देर से नहीं है.
And inspiration, anyone for creative work, definitely, positively, he must be motivated by by any one personality or his personal attitude or whatever the perception he has perceived from the society. And as a whole, in whole of whatever have been discussed, creativity, the first word of idea, I, that is innovation. Second word of the idea, D for discoveries. And third one of idea word, E. That is, and last one, that is A, that is called term as an achievement. So the creativity gives an idea in any form and in any such a way. Once you look about the creativity, it is said, creativity is inventing, experimenting, growing. How it comes? By a child or by adult, by a person raised, breaking rules, making mistakes, and having fun in a natural way. This the creativity comes. And as a whole, the second part, that is a behavior science, depends, that is professional ethics. It is just a part of behavior, and behavior of a person depends upon the three functions, that is a moves, function, and react. What is the behavior we have to explain? We have to explain in a philosophical point of view what the mood person has, what the function person has, what the reaction person has. Move, function, and reaction are governed by the three-tier system.
Sir, you're not audible, sir.
अनम्यूट कर लीजिए। मिश्रा सर, you are muted. Please unmute. Actually, there is a big problem of network today.
Okay.
लगता लॉग आउट हो गए।
I think we have lost the connection with Dr. A.K. Mishra. It was raining heavily in the morning at Shahjahanpur. I think we can proceed now.
Oh.
Once he joins, we will have him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Due to technical issues, we have lost sir's connectivity. Is he going to be back?
He has joined back. He is there.
Okay, he is there. Okay.
Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. It's audible. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, there is heavy rain. And
No problem.
sorry. Pardon for
problem, sir.
the
Please
interruption.
No
And
problem,
whenever
sir.
the
Please
word professional ethics, ma'am, set of rules and code of conduct. A person should act towards whether they are clients, customers, and upon the concerning profession and institution in such an environment. The professional ethics as a whole, irrespective of other things, depends upon the ethic only. This is my sense. That is honesty, trustworthiness, transparency, accountability, confidently. And now we can add it by this seminar. We have learned, we have concluded that last and 8 points should be included in the professional ethics. That is most important in my opinion. That is it should include creativity that I have learned from last 7 years. Once again, I welcome all the patterns, all the resource persons, as well as all associated. Due to interruption of network system, I again pardon, and once again I hardly welcome all of you, those who 7 days. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for your warm words of welcome and sharing your views on creativity, innovation, and professional ethics. Thank you. Welcome to our chief guest, Dr. Hamid Saree, Vice Chancellor, Asrar Higher Education, Mashhad, Iran. Welcome, sir. I now invite our most vibrant, energetic principal who has been always a constant support in conducting as many events in a very smooth way, Dr. M.G. Raghunathan, Guru Nanak College. Sir, please share your views on this occasion. Sir, please.
Most respected chief guest of the day, Dr. Hamid, Vice Chancellor, guest of honors, Dr. Mario and Dr. Ali Khan, and Principal Swami Sukhdevanand, PG College, Shahjahanpur, and all the organizers and the collaborators, Live Academy, and then the PG College of Shahjahanpur, and all the participants and today's VIPs who have joined us today. For the 7 days, this is really a wonderful program for 7 days internationally, FDP. I greatly wonder or surprised that how Mrs. Maya Lakshmi could able to organize such a wonderful program. Just now, while I was attending this welcome address by the principal, I could able to see the feedbacks from all the participants which we have given. They have given a wonderful comment rather than me giving the comment. This can be posted to all the participants, to all the VIPs also. Really is amazing, and I hope that all the people would have enjoyed the benefits or reaped the benefits of the expertise of all the resource persons spoken for all these 7 days. And today this valedictorian, a fruitful program, a wonderful program. It has solved the purpose for which it has been conducted or which it has been organized for. And I really appreciate our collaborators and also Mrs. Maya Lakshmi for collaborating with the eminent persons like all these people who are now present today, and I appreciate her greatly. And also thanks to Principal Swami Sukhdevanand, PG College, and all the organizers concerned. Thanks for the opportunity. I wish and bless the program and the organizers for a wonderful endeavors in all their futures. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your warm words and encouraging words. Thank you. I now invite Dr. Vinit Kumarji, Secretary, Sahitya Darshan Sansthan, to share a few words of this FDP. Dr. Vinit Kumarji.
Thank you, ma'am, for inviting.
Yes.
मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहता हूं कि जो उम्मीद हमने की थी और हमारे साथियों ने की थी, उससे कहीं बढ़कर के ये 7 दिन का फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम चला। इस सब के लिए आप सबका मैं तहे दिल से शुक्रगुजार हूं, खासतौर से शाद भाई का, जिन्होंने हम सबको एक मंच पे लाके खड़ा कर दिया, और बाकी और सर का, अनुराग सर भी हैं, माँ मैम है, राधिका मैम है, माया लक्ष्मी मैम है, सभी लोगों का मैं बहुत तहे दिल से शुक्रगुजार हूँ। और मैं आप लोगों से ये वादा करता हूँ, एक बात और कहना चाहूँगा यहाँ पर कि काफी लोगों का मेरे पास जो फीडबैक आया, लगातार कॉल आए, उसमें ये डिमांड की गई कि एक हिंदी में इसी तरीके का फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम कराया जाए। तो हम और शाद भाई लगातार प्रयास कर रहे हैं कि बहुत जल्द एक प्रोग्राम हम हिंदी में करेंगे, क्योंकि काफी हिंदी भाषियों को समस्या आई है, इस बात से सभी रूबरू हैं। उन लोगों से मैं माफी चाहूंगा, लेकिन बहुत जल्दी ही हम 7 दिन का एक फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम जल्द ऑर्गेनाइज कराएंगे। मैं आप सभी लोगों का बहुत दिल से शुक्रगुजार हूं और बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं इस कार्यक्रम के लिए। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सभी लोग।
धन्यवाद सर, शुक्रिया अदा हम भी करना चाहते हैं कि हमें भी ऐसे मौके दिए गए हैं कि हम भी इसमें एक भाग ले सकें. Thank you so much. It's my proud privilege. Thank you. It's my proud privilege to introduce the multifaceted and versatile personality, Dr. Mario, CEO, MBC Management Consultant, Switzerland, our guest of honor for the day, an accomplished management training consultant with an overall experience of 25 years and a proven record in the development and implementation of organizational change programs. He holds BA Joint Honours Economics and Sociology from Kelly University, Staffordshire, UK, Master degree in European Economic Studies from University of Exeter, Devon, UK, and Doctor of Philosophy from University of Wales, UK. He has received awards and recognitions for his contribution to academic and societal arena. Recognition for serving as an official translator in Military Olympics celebrated in Rome. Awarded for the Best Business Plan at the National College of Applied Sciences Business Plan Competition in Oman. Awarded a distinct by Kelly University Athletic Union for service as Athletic Union Treasurer. A lot of such recognitions are accomplished with this particular personality. He has been recognized as an resource person, accomplished resource person, and keynote speaker in various countries like Pakistan, Oman, India, Nepal, and Switzerland. Recently, he participated in the World Economic Forum, Davos, Switzerland. His professional outline shows him holding various positions in multitude of countries. Principal Research Officer, Comset University, Islamabad, Pakistan. Assistant Professor in Business Administration, College of Applied Sciences, Al Rastak, Oman. Assistant Professor in Business Administration, College of International Studies in Madrid, Spain. Chief Training Consultant, Liderazgo and Empresa, Madrid, Spain. Training Consultant in Ram Heklen University, IIS, Bangkok, Thailand. Senior Lecturer, University Alosona, ex-Merid, Spain, and other universities. We are very, very happy to have him amidst us. He is being continuously sharing his views, encouraging every resource person throughout this international FTP. Today, we are honored to have him as our guest of honor for the valedictory function. I humbly invite him to address the gathering. Sir, we are waiting to hear to you. Over to Dr. Mario, sir.
Thank you ever so much for that very kind and extensive introduction of my profile. I am deeply honored to be part of the 7-day International Faculty Development Program, and in particular to have been invited as a guest of honor to address the valedictory sections function of the 7 days International Faculty Development Program on creative thinking and professional ethics. I would like, of course, to thank all the organizers for this, for having invited me, and for the privilege to be here and be part of this community of faculty gathering. Today, I will seek to develop my presentation around the topic that interests this gathering, which is creative thinking and professional ethics. I would like to be able to share my screen, and it does not seem to be working somehow. Hold on. Just a minute. I'd like to switch. I am not able to share my screen, unfortunately. Let's see. whether I can do it, please.
Yeah, you're presenting. You have a button over there, sir. Green color.
Yes, but I would like to. I would like to share my my screen. I have a
yes, sir,
PowerPoint set. Yeah, but I don't seem to be able to do it.
Miss Maya has your presentation.
Oh, okay. Can she ask? Can you please upload them, please?
Yes, sure. Miss Maya, please run his presentation. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Right. As they come up, I will advance you a little bit the general idea behind this presentation, which seeks to put into perspective the key concepts that this faculty development program have been based on, which is the idea of creative thinking and professional ethics. Okay, there it comes. Is there any problem?
So you should stop presenting first your screen, sir, so that Maya can play it.
Oh, okay. Right.
You can just stop presenting yours.
I'll stop presenting. Okay, right.
Yeah, yeah. Maya, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Is it present? Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
No, no, not yet, Maya.
Not yet.
Yes, ma'am. Is it presenting? I started presenting. 1 second, I'll redo.
Yeah, yeah, please, please.
Yes, yes. It's coming. Yes. Yes, sir. Mario, sir? Yes, sir?
Yeah, I'm still here, but I cannot see my PowerPoints.
We can see, sir.
No, wait, she's doing it.
Okay.
No, we can
Maybe
see.
now she'll be able to.
It is presenting properly, actually.
Otherwise, if you
Yeah,
allow me.
Doctor, we all can see your PPT actually. You just
I cannot see my PPTs.
Is it? Okay.
Hold on, just a minute. No, I cannot see them.
You can pin that particular slide, sir. If
No, I cannot see anything. I can only see my picture. Oh, I can see myself. Is there any way I can control my PPTs myself?
No.
so, you can rejoin, I think.
Okay. So, shall I rejoin then?
Madam, we can wait.
Hello?
Kindly ask
Okay.
to rejoin again.
Rejoin better, yes, Mario. Please rejoin.
Yeah?
Yes, please rejoin.
Okay, I'll rejoin then. Okay, right.
Mario, sir, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, right. Okay, well, let me start again and take this opportunity to thank everybody for the privilege of being here, and in particular, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me as a guest of honor to address this valedictory session function of the 7-day International Faculty Development Program on Creative Thinking and Professional Ethics. As you know, I have been following the program right from the beginning, and I got a very good idea of the type of topics and ideas that have been shared throughout these 7 days. And I would like in my speech to synthesize these concepts and bring them into and integrate them into a whole concept. So I will start by
Mario, you are mute now. Please unmute.
next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. Now, the question that has interested us in this International Faculty Development Seminar program is the question of creative thinking and professional ethics. The question that I ask now is, why are we talking about creative thinking and why are we talking about professional ethics? Is it that there were no professional ethics before? Were there no creative thinking before? Why are we talking about it now? Why are we talking about creative thinking? Why is creative thinking important now? Why bother about professional values now? Next. Next slide, please. The reason has to do with a need that there seems to be about a need to return to a humanistic perspective. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. So why is this? Because the specialist functional approach that has dominated the exploration of reality till now has distinguished its utility function. In other words, for the past 2 centuries, we have been obsessed with the need to cover our basic needs, to basically respond to an excess demand over supply. There was a need to cover all basic physical needs that humans have. We were, so to speak, at the end of the Maslow pyramid. Therefore, all the physical needs needed to be covered. So the functionalist perspective gave us a justification and a sense of life in terms of fulfilling the need to produce and grow in order to achieve greater well-being. Well-being was seen and conceived as number of goods and services available for consumption. Next slide, please. So, has come a point in where growth and development are no longer an end in itself as they were before. Because while before we were facing a situation of excess demand or supply, now as a result of the functionalist perspective that aim to gear human effort towards the development of growth and production, then now there is a need to, that now that physical needs are satisfied, we need the definition of the object of life as an expression of expansion of production and growth no longer fulfills our need, because we moved up the Maslow pyramid to a set of needs that are have to do more with the explanation as to why is it that we need these things that we have, and what are the consequences of consuming and producing in the way we have done till now. So there is a need for a broader perspective. Next slide, please. Next slide. So, what is this broader perspective? This broader perspective has to do with a new cultural development of a new cultural paradigm that can help reinterpret reality in a new way. Next slide, please. So, how? By making us redefine the way we understand our social, political, and economic relations, which we cannot continue to define them in the same way that we used to before. Next slide. What does this mean? It means that redefining, there is a need to redefine traditional values, not abandon them. It's not a question of facing a revolution where we abandon what we had before, but it's basically reinterpreting the way we used to behave before. Please go back one slide. Go back 2 slides, please. No, go back. Go back. No, you're going forward. Back. Okay, right, stop. Next slide. So, what does this mean, this reinterpretation of our traditional values? It means helping, not abandoning what we used to believe, but reinterpret we had in a different way, because the situation has changed, so that we can change the way we see and understand our relations with ourselves and with our environment. So that the important thing is not so much that of producing for the sake of attaining the goods and services that I'm not muted. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You can continue, sir. Sir, please continue.
Oh, okay. All right. So we can understand this will allow us then to understand, we need to understand a new way to see our relations with ourselves and with our environment, so that we don't see our relation as mere predators that take resources that nature gives us, and we dispose of them in the way we want. But it forces us to think more in a responsible way, because we need to understand our relations in an interrelated way. Next slide, please. So this marks the beginning of the end of functionalism, as the race towards greater efficiency through technology to expand productivity has ceased to make sense. And this is because, at this point, because of the development of functionalism, we have gone to a point in where well-being can no longer be understood as number of products available for consumption. Next slide. So, holding on to this functionalist perspective means holding on to a logic that leads to an intellectual and physical self-destruction. If I'm allowed, I would like to refer to a paradox illustrated in one of the films of the Marx Brothers, More Wood, in where they were at the responsible for keeping a train engine that worked, that had a furnace that helped, that was fed of wood in order to keep the engine going, where as long as they had wood, you know, the engine kept on going. But at one point, the wood ran out. So they asked themselves, what do we do in order to keep the engine going? They said, well, all right, let's get the wood from the carriages of the train. So progressively, they were dismantling all the carriages of this train till they were left without carriages and eventually without wood. So basically, this kind of madness in terms of continuing to rely on an old-fashioned knowledge, an old-fashioned of excess and continuous growth and development at any cost, has created or create the self-destruction of humanity. So this helps us understand that there is something that we cannot carry on doing the things the way we have done before. So, next slide. Next slide, please. So, this is where sustainability comes in. Sustainability then must become the new cultural paradigm. And this sustainability, in order to be achieved, needs or requires us to engage in creative thinking and to develop new professional values and ethics. Oops, sorry. Next slide, please. So, in this context, academia has a major role in facing this or leading to this transformation of society by engaging or promoting or developing critical thinking, proactiveness, a fight for against the fear of freedom, and to teach people to think outside the box. These are the key parameters that will help the new society live in a new global context. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide. This is so because with the advent and development of globalization, the way firms compete has changed. The way firms behave has changed. The way ethics of business have changed. And also the definition of firms as we used to know it has changed too. So, to conclude, next slide. Next slide, please. We need now, more than ever before, creative thinking and professional values and ethics. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Here is in this slide you have my you have my the website of MBC, and also you have my email. So you're all very welcome to have a look and go through my website. And I'm willing and able to discuss with you any possible interest in the type of activities that MBC undertakes. Thanks very much for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for the welcoming the gathering and your excellent deliberation on creativity. And the question is, where is the need for creativity and redefining the traditional values to interpret in current realities? Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. To introduce our next guest of honor, Dr. Ali Khan Mahmood, Professor, Ashoka University, India, former doctoral fellow, University of Cambridge, UK. I invite Ms. Brij Lali, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, SSPG College, Shahjahanpur, Uttar Pradesh. Madam, please.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a pride for me to invite and introduce our guest of honor, Professor Ali Khan Mahmoodabad, sir. Sir is the professor in Ashoka University, India, and he is a PhD and MPhil from Cambridge and worked on the PhD thesis on the formation of Muslim political identity in North India between 1850 to 1950. Before his MPhil, he studied Arabic at the University of Damascus in Syria. Professor Khan has traveled widely, especially in the Middle Eastern nations like Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, and Yemen. He did his undergraduate degree from Amherst College, USC, with a double major in history and political science. With a pen name Ali Khan Mahmoodabad, Professor Khan is a part of various civil society groups, and many of these have focused on the role of religion in democracy, individual and human rights, the rights of minorities, terrorists, and security-related questions, as well as many other issues that have a direct bearing on public policy. His most recent specialization has been on Muslim South Asia, including its corresponding networks and connection in the wider Muslim world. He has conducted research in a number of languages, including Arabic, Persian, and Urdu. He has constantly written for newspapers and magazines in English and Urdu for the past 6 years and have occasionally appeared on television and radio, as he believes that a wider public engagement is of paramount importance in order to try and spread ideas beyond the academy. In particular, he has focused on matters of religious identity, democracy, culture, and politics of both South Asia and the Middle East. It's an honor for us to invite you, sir. You are welcome, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, and thank you so much for the invitation. I'd like to thank all the organizers for giving me this chance to be here. I'm sorry, in the middle, I lost a little bit of what you were saying. No doubt, this is a very, very important topic, and therefore, I'm sure the last 7 days have been tremendously enriching for all of you. I actually wanted to speak about two things which have been briefly touched upon by others, but before that, of course, I'd like to also acknowledge Dr. Mario Buenos Dias, and Dr. Hamid آقای دکتر امیدوارم که شما هم خوب هستی در ایران. My real idea was to speak very briefly creative thinking and professional ethics. As Dr. Maria was saying, our world has undergone tremendous and profound changes. बहुत ही बुनियादी तौर पर हमारी दुनिया बदली है और मेरे हिसाब से जो एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण चीज़ है वो ये है कि इंटरनेट और सोशल मीडिया के आने वाले से जिसको हम एथिक्स कहते हैं, अखलाकियात कहते हैं उर्दू में, उन पर भी बहुत एक गंभीर और बहुत बड़ा असर पड़ा है. So my entire point is to hint in the brief 10-15 minutes I have towards the importance of rethinking ethics in the age of the internet. Now, there are some very interesting and important philosophers who are doing this work. If those of you who are interested, you can look at the Oxford Center for the Internet. There's a gentleman called James Williams there who's written a very good book. There are others who are working on research vis-a-vis the internet. But at the level of ethics, at the level of the manner, the ethical framework which should circumscribe or determine the framework which we occupy in order to think about how we approach the world, how we approach each other, and indeed how we approach ourselves. Because in that sense, professional ethics are not only about how you interact with others, particularly in the academy, with your students, with your colleagues, with your senior colleagues and administration, but in a sense, because we are now interacting with each other through the medium of a virtual world, philosophically, at a very profound level, our sense of self, our sense of selfhood has undergone a change also. So at a very fundamental level, for those of you who are familiar with philosophical concepts such as autonomy, freedom of choice, freedom itself, these are concepts that are undergoing a huge, in fact, revolutionary change because of the way in which algorithms are determining what we see on our devices, what we see on our social media, the manner in which data is being used in order to build and represent an image of ourselves in the virtual world, and also the virtual personality and identity that we develop ourselves in the virtual world, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. All of us, it's not necessary always that our being on the internet, our sense of self in the internet reflects who we truly are in the real world, because of course this medium represents challenges in itself. So this is the first thing that I wanted to say, that now more than ever it is really very important to think creatively about how we build ethical frameworks, how we conceive of basic things, things that we've taken for granted for centuries now. How these are undergoing this change, what do we mean now by choice? For example, I'll give you an example, and it is linked partly to research, partly to professional ethics. Now we know we can identify the gene, for instance, that causes breast cancer in women. And so, for example, the celebrity Angelina Jolie, she had a double mastectomy. And that is a very good use, and medical ethics have written a lot about the manner in which technology and the internet is determining people's individual choices. But as we progress in the next 10 years, we're going to see the Internet of Things. We are going to see more and more engagement of individuals with governments, with their places of work. So, for example, I'm teaching online. Through the medium of the internet, how is that, in a sense, changing these basic concepts for us? And I think that it's very important to think about that. We do have to radically rethink what we mean by ethics. The manner in which we engage with each other, for instance, is very different often in the online world from the offline world. How does that reflect in the classroom, which is a virtual classroom? What is the teacher's responsibility in the virtual classroom, given the fact that you do not have your students in front of you? There is no safe space per se. You're not in a closed environment. There are a whole host of new challenges that I foresee coming up, and particularly in a country like India, where we have a tremendously young population. We have a population, 65% of our population is under 35, 50% of our population is under 25. These are people, young people who have grown up. I didn't grow up with the internet. I didn't grow up with social media or even mobile telephones. But there is now a generation that is in the institutes of higher education who are entering the workforce, the majority of whom are aware of this new world. And what is now more important than ever, not just at the level of, for example, I think it's great that you have organized this conference and people have talked about various aspects of creative thinking. Dr. Mario talked about, how to preserve traditional values without perhaps appearing dogmatic or rigid, having a humanistic worldview. But at the same time, at the level of government, we also need profound change. And this change will come from the academy. It will come from universities. And therefore, it is more incumbent and more important for scholars right now from every department. This is not just a historical issue. This is not just a issue of political science or philosophy, but every faculty needs to think about the manner in which our world has undergone this profound shift. And that then will affect government policy. Most of the children who are growing up with internet, with social media devices, with iPads, phones, a lot of people, of course, are poor. So we also have to think about that aspect of inclusivity, how internet and having access to the internet is a fundamental and basic right. Or should be a fundamental and basic right. At the same time, we also need to think at the level of government schools about creatively think, as the title of your workshop and conference suggests, about the professional ethics that we are imparting to students. How should they behave in this virtual world? At the moment, we are all sort of we all get a device in our hand and we figure it out by ourselves. I often say when I'm speaking in schools, a few decades ago, this thumb that we use, this thumb it had different, of course, purposes, but in religious societies, and for those of you who are familiar, whether Hindu, whether Christian, whether Jewish, whether Muslim, the thumb was used to flick the rosary beads, right? And you concentrate on one name, for example, you meditate and so on. This thumb, its role has completely changed within a generation because we use this thumb to scroll past an infinite amount of information on our screens. The manner in which we encounter that information is having profound psychological impacts on us. So, of course, there's no time to go into great detail, but at the level of government, at the level of academic policy, at the level of how we teach and how we conceive of our relationships with our students, with each other as colleagues in our professional environment, we need to now seriously think about creating and defining an ethical framework, which of course will change as time moves along, but nonetheless one that gives people the tools to understand what it means to be a citizen on the internet, what responsibilities there should be, should there be certain codes of behavior and the manner in which you engage with each other. At the moment, it's a massive experiment. As James Williams, who I mentioned at the Oxford Center of the Internet, he says, we are dealing with industrialized levels of advertisement. All of you know this. All of you who are accessing this lecture just now on your smartphone, you know that when you open your Safari or Google or Chrome browser, they're sending advertisements to you. And of course, those advertisements are targeted towards you. Similarly, political parties behave in the same way, as do commercial companies. So in a sense, it's a massive experiment. And the thing that no one is talking about creatively in a very public way, this conversation, as I said, is happening in certain universities amongst closed groups. But we need a massive public-oriented discussion on the virtual world that we inhabit and what our responsibilities are, what our ethical outlook and framework should be, and how we can think creatively about the new problems that we are encountering. Because of course, for example, in the world of social media, identities are becoming more hardened, right? We all live in an echo chamber. Our Facebook friends, our Instagram, our Twitter reflects back at us who we are. So in that sense, it becomes harder to encounter diversity. It becomes harder, and you become more rigid in your own views. So these are some of the ways in which I feel that it is now more important than ever, because we see across the world the rise of populist governments. We see the hardening of differences. Partly this is a political phenomenon, but I think it's also partly linked to the rise of the internet and social media. So it's very, and I'm really grateful to you for beginning this conversation and for giving me the opportunity to speak about this, because now more important than ever is the necessity of taking a creative approach towards developing a framework of professional ethics so that we can equip the younger generations going forward to not have such a schizophrenic life in the virtual world and in the modern world. We need to be able to blend these worlds and make sure that people inhabit these worlds in a less schizophrenic manner and in a manner which allows for a difference of opinion, freedom of thought, and also a framework in which we can think together and build this world together. It's not the internet's fault, of course. As with every other thing that is created by human beings, it has its good aspects and its bad aspects, but it is incumbent upon us, and it is our responsibility, particularly as academics, to think about creatively how to provide an ethical framework to think about the world and our place in it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ali Khan. That was within such a short time, you took up into a complete journey of what this ethics and education was all about. Now, beautifully emphasized on the social media and the internet and how its impact is on the professional ethics, and how creatively you can use this tools, various tools, whatever you mentioned in the education part. And when you are using it, how ethically we have to use it. Thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your views. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Moving on to another very, very interesting part of this FDP, Faculty Development Program. Now, the scenario which we have been observing for the 7 days, the organizers felt that there's something good or something encouraging has to be done for all those who have contributed their valuable time in this particular session. So to acknowledge the valuable presence and contribution to this FDP, the organizing committee is happy to present or honor a certificate of recognition to our guest of honor, Dr. Mario, CEO, MBC Management Consultant, Switzerland, and Dr. Ali Khan, Mahmoodabad, Professor, Ashoka University, India, for having contributed their valuable time here. We appreciate maybe we support and both the guest of honors to receive this certificate from the organizers. Here is the certificate, which is meant as Teaching Excellence Award.
Hello.
Congratulations,
Thank you very much.
and thank you to the organizers.
Thank you. Thank you very so much. Thank you so much. Very kind.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have received many accolades through mail, messages, and whatnot, appreciating the resource persons for their invaluable contribution in this international faculty development program on creative thinking and professional ethics. Now, to recognize their effort and excellence in the academic field, the entire organizing team are honoring them with the Teachers Excellence Award. Again, a great congratulations to all the resource persons who have been with us all these days. We go with the first day one, Professor Ing Bao Daniel Ente, Professor and Head, Department of Intelligence and Security Studies, Novena University, Nigeria. He had in his topic, Creative Thinking and Professional Ethics, Understanding the Dilemma of Global Trajectories for Developing Nations. Congratulations, sir. The second day.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Dr. Shad Ahmad Khan, a great pioneer here we have. Chair, Staff Professional Development, is serving the College of Business, University, Buraimi, Sultanate of Oman. He had his topic in the art of research talk and presentation. Sir, here you are to receive your award. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next, we had Dr. Ferdinand Epoch, Chair, Quality Assurance, College of Business, University of Buraimi, Sultanate of Oman, on the topic Creative Thinking and Teaching Pedagogy. Sir, this is an award for you for what you have contributed. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for having me for this 7 days series of seminar for the faculty. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We have next Dr. Srinivas Madhavan, MBA Coordinator, Novel Academy, Nepal. Topic, imbibing employability skill in students. In a very humorous way, he took us and gave us a real content of what it is. Sir, here is your award and congratulations from the team.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. We have next Dr. Shravan Kumar, National Vice President, LTI and Associate Professor, Amity University, Noida. Very interesting topic and made us very, we were really on toe to do the things. Creative ICT tools for interactive classes. So here we are awarding you with the Teacher Excellence Award. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dr. Sarim Abbas, General Fellow, Indian Council of Philosophical Research, India. Topic, Evolution of Ethics in Relevant for Modern Time. In spite of his health issues, he was here for us to give us the talk, the title on Evolution of Ethics and Relevance for Modern Time. So here you are awarded with the Teacher of Excellence. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
We have last but not the least, the most exciting or very interesting topic which was discussed today by Professor Monica Srivastava, Coordinator, GHS IMR India, Innovative Training Methods. Madam, here you are honored with the award, Excellence of Teachers
Obliged,
Award.
madam, extremely obliged and thanking you.
Thank you.
Thanking everyone.
It is the organizers whom we wholeheartedly thank for having taken up such a wonderful initiative, to have been applauding people and encouraging them so that the next time they feel that, yes, I need to do it still more, better and better. Congratulations to all the resource person and thank you so much, the organizers. Moving on to the next, we are very delighted and happy, honored to have our respected chief guest, Dr. Hamid Sare, Vice Chancellor, Asrar Higher Education, Mashhad, Iran, as our chief guest for the valedictory section of International Faculty Development Program on Creative Thinking and Professional Ethics. I invite Ms. Maya Lakshmi, Convener, Head Commerce, Marketing Management, Guru Nanak College, Chennai, to welcome and introduce our chief guest to the gathering. Madam, please.
A very good evening to all present here. Great leaders don't set out to be leaders. They set out to make difference. It's never about the role, always about the goal. So once again, good evening to all and welcome all of you to the valedictory session of the 7-day International Faculty Development Program. So today in the valedictory section, we have our chief guest who is an eminent academician and a wonderful leader. Dr. Hamid Sarami. Dr. Hamid Sarami is an Iranian citizen who is graduated from Indian universities and got all his qualifications from India. He spent most of his young age in India and considered India as a second home, and still in touch with various organizations. He have participated in many academic events in India during all this time, and also a part of various international journals in India as their editorial, advisory, and reviewers board member. These are all because of his love and affiliation towards our country, India, and with the people he associated with. Sir is having 32 years of experience in teaching and administration globally. Dr. Hamid Sarami have done his Masters in Commerce, and he received his doctoral honors in Commerce Financial Management. A sound knowledge of financial management and human resource management, adept in creating teaching strategies that fully engage students in learning process. He is a committed teacher also. His research interests are in financial management, HRM, and cost accounting. About his executive experience, he worked in the Department of Internal Auditing of Iran National Oil Company of Iran from 1988 to 1990. He was a faculty member of Accounting Department of Azad Islamic University of Brigand, Iran in 1990 to 1991. Vice Chancellor in Administrative and Financial Affairs of Azad Islamic University of Iran for 7 years. Vice Chancellor in Administrative and Financial Affairs and faculty member of Azad Islamic University of Iran from 1997 to 2002. He is a member of Financial and Administrative Committee of Islamic Azad University, Khorasan, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Bilan Karan Sarf Auditing Institute, Financial Consulate of various organizations, Secretary of Management Association of Iran Khorasan Branch, Principal of Management Studies Center Head, Member for Board of Directors Management Association of Iran Khorasan Branch, and presently the Vice Chancellor in Administrative and Financial Affairs of Azad Islamic University, Iran. About his academic experience, he had 31 years of experience. He was an expert in financial accounting, cost accounting, financial management, and HRM. He was guest faculty of various organizations in India and internationally. In his research experience, he is a life member of various management associations of Iran and India. He also guided and mastered various candidates in their PhD. He was an external examiner for PhD, a member of management for the Board of Management Association of Iran, a member of Decision Council of Islamic Azad University of Kunchan Branch, Iran, Board of Directors of Society and Technical Management Professionals. And coming to journals, sir have a distinguished record of publication of various Scopus Index and University UGC approved academic journals and also other international journals. I think he have published more than 100 journals. So it is a very, very informative thing. And going to yes, next about his conferences. He also attended various conferences internationally and nationally. He was a speaker. He chaired various programs also. He has also written various books. A name among the few. He written a book on organization behavior management. He written on cost accounting, which was published by the Ahang Galam publication of Iran. Published a book in technical English accounting. In 2001, investment management with financial decision-making approach in the year of 2017. The science of branding, marketing management, branding science, which is an ISSN publication by Mashhad, Iran 2016, and Islamic financial markets in the year of 2017. It is indeed our pleasure and pride to have such an eminent educationalist as our chief guest today. So on behalf of the patrons and the organizing committee and also the participants. I welcome you, sir, to this program. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. I take the pleasure in inviting our most respected chief guest, Dr. Hamid Sareen, Vice Chancellor, to address the learned fraternity. Sir, please. Sir, you can unmute yourself, sir.
Is it correct? Are you
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Thank you very much for introducing me in such a long CV. After all, I'm telling a fact that I am a teacher, I am a learner, still we are a learner up to date. So anyway, thanks to everybody once again. Sorry to take your time. It is a last, I think, last moment. So this was my request from Dr. Agrawal to put me in the last moment, because I had some meeting in my office. So I was afraid that I may lose this opportunity to be among you nice people. I'm very pleased to welcome to all guests and delegates. And it is my great pleasure to be among you nice people from my beloved country, India. As Madam said, really it is, I consider as my second home. First of all, let me to just go through this bad situation of Corona at the critical time of fighting coronavirus. I express my sincere sympathy for all the people and pray for the speedy control and victory over the virus. I wish speedy recovery to those who are ill. I offer my condolence to families of number of people around the world, especially the people of India, on the date of Corona, and wish them patience and good health. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And while thanking Dr. Amran Agrawal, I hope that my spelling is not wrong, Chief Coordinator and Head of the Department of Commerce, SSPT College, and others of organizers of this valuable event, that I am sure and believe that their effort will have a good result, and I wish them a successful future. I also give great thanks to Dr. Amran Agrawal for inviting me to attend this conference and let me to have this golden opportunity to be among you and with you nice and kind people from my beloved India, and share my experience and opinion regarding this serious situation. My dear delegates, my dear guests, organizer, as this is the last time, and I am sure that you are very tired and you have done very excellent work during these 7 days. I will go to very briefly to all the matter and end my speech about this critical about this topic, and I hope you will not get tired about my speech, and you will you bear me for a while. My dear delegate and guests, my dear faculty member, this valuable academic event shows that the education has not been end. It will never go end. Even in this critical situation, you just show that this critical situation is not effect on the any learning, and you have organized such a very nice event and conference about the creative thinking and professional ethic. Let me go through directly go through the topic about the critical about this creative thinking and professional ethic. Creative thinking and professional professional ethic has very deep relation to each other. Ethic studies in the board of management and organization have been conducted on the different topics such as management ethic, organizational ethic, and work ethic. Work ethic is a set of the principles and standards of human behavior that determine the behavior of individual and group. In fact, it can be said that today professional ethics is social norm in which employees are expected to do their job well. Professional ethics as a branch of ethics knowledge examines the ethical duty of the professions and its ethical issue and seek to provide the method and guidelines that define these tests for individual and professional groups. Professional ethics in the tradition has been human-centered and motivated to serve others, which has evolved throughout history. Professional ethics, employee credibility. Ethics is systematic knowledge that includes interest in the work, perseverance in the work, and human relation in the work, and participation in the work, and creativity is the effort to create a change in the social power of the organization. Having committed as and specialized human resource in organizations is considered a competitive advantage. Employees who, in addition to performing their duties, feel responsible for affairs of the organization and do not hesitate to help the organization when needed, such employees are considered as an aspiration and ideal of any organization. One of the indicators for achieving this type of employees is resorting to individual ethic and work ethic as well functioning ethical infrastructure and provides an environment in which a standard and indicator of desirable professional behavior are encouraged and supported. But today, sometimes in the service of provisions and profession, man has become a tool for his purely material goal. Professional ethic refers to a set of rules that individuals must follow voluntarily and in accordance with the voice of their conscience and nature in doing professional work, without being externally bound or subject to legal penalties for the voluntary. Well, in professional ethics, these ethics include a set of value judgment, ethical duty in professions, and its ethical issue. In the definition of profession, it is considered a certain activity that lead a person to certain position with a certain morality. Professional ethic is a set of ethical action and reaction adopted by the professional organizations and associations to provide the most desirable social relationship possible for its members in the performance of the professional duties. Professional ethic of manager. Dimension of the professional ethic of manager at the organizational level or responsibility excellence and competitiveness, honesty, respect for the others, respect for the values, justice and fairness, empathy with others, loyalty and commitment, responsibility. In this case, the person is responsible and accept responsibility for its decisions and consequences, is in an example to others. It is sensitive and moral, carries about the honesty and reputation and his work. He strives to fulfill all this responsibility and assume the responsibility as he assumes. He does it with all his might and sincerity. Supremacy and competitiveness tries to be superite in all cases, has confidence, gains high skill in his professions, serious and hardworking. He is not satisfied with his current position and seeks to improve himself in the right way. Do not try to win the competition in any way. Being honest is against the hypocrisy, and hypocrisy listens to the voice of his conscience. He pay attention to honor at all time. He is brave and courageous. Provisional ethic is committed to the mental, psychological, and physical strength of individual or group and the collective through in the order to acquire in the inner strength and talents of the group and individual for development. The components of the work ethics are job interest. It is mental or emotional state that person experience during work. The presence at the work is the real determination in the face of difficult working condition. Human relation at work, it is the unification and the interaction of the people with work in such a way that this unity provides them with the motivation and causes them to be employed in the fruitful and economical manner with the mental and psychological satisfaction. Respect for the others, respect the right of the others, and respect the options of opinion of the others is a good, natural, and punctual, giving other the right to make decision. He does not prefer only his own interests. Respect for social values and norm, respect social values and participate in the social activity, respect social law, does not that is against other cultures. Justice and fairness, it is supporter of the right and has no prejudice in the judgment. There is no discrimination between individual in terms of culture, social and economic class, race and ethnicity. Empathy with others. Compositions, composite and compassionate he shares in the and support the suffering of the others. He pay attention to the feeling of others and consider the problem of others as his own. Loyalty, committed to his duty, he is secretive and trustworthy to others. Injecting the spirit of justice, in the organization, justice is one of the most central slogans of any school of ethics. When member of the organization feel that there is a justice in the organization, there is a greater sense of cooperation between member and management. reducing stress and strain, remembering God is shouting to human being. This sentence at the same time shows the role of ethic and school in the reducing psychological pressure in the society, such as organizations. With the reduction of the psychological pressure in the organization, move toward the goals with the help of members is easily possible. Encourage employees to fully adhere to value principles. If managers and other members in the organization adopt to different principles of the organization will move toward the sustainability. One of the reasons for the presidents of some managers in their attention to religious values and principles of the professional ethics. Ethic and behavior of manager of organization, especially operations manager who are directly related to human resource. It has great productive activity and growing source of the organization. If the relationship between manager and employee is relationship based on the and effective, this organization will definitely achieve its goal. If this connection is based on the immoral behavior, it certainly prevent the effect and consequence of the organization from achieving its goal in the long run. Managers who do not pay attention to human dimension and professional ethics in the organization and are willing to kick their personalities to achieve their goal, regardless of ethical and human principles. They may pay off in the short term, but in the long run, they undermine employees' credibility, efficiency, and commitment. Drastically reduce productivity and viral organization.
Professional ethics or creativity.
Experience has shown that many capable and talented and creative human resources and employees remain unknown with the organization due to poor management and lack of professional ethics by managers. Remain unknown, this ultimately lead to their leaving the organization. Many of the problem of organization today are the lack of proper and professional communication between the manager and employees and subordinates. Experience has shown that many managers, due to lack of familiarity with the management techniques and also due to lack of the professional ethic, they behave inappropriately with subordinate and employee, which eventually lead to the organizational silence or leaving the workplace by the organization ethic force. Therefore, one of the problem of organization whose professional ethics are not observed by its manager, the impacting of the expert body is one of the entrepreneurial and talented forces, because the unprofessional behavior of manager has led to the silence of the many elite force at the expert level or such expert in the technical meeting. Instead of the commenting and expressing their technical options, they try to confirm the statement of their deadly and dangerous for the organization, and this integrated organization from the within. Participation in work in the in partnership and the cooperation in the work or activity, along with the work ethic and the emergence of creativity in the organization, which is considered not only as a need but also as a condition for the survival of any organization or society. In the vision of creativity is the development and explanation of the ideas, solution, judgment that are first and foremost innovative and secondarily appreciate and desirable according to the situation. Creativity means the ability to combine ideas and in a unique way or create connections between ideas. Creativity involves making new connection and seeing things in new way. From the psychological point of view, creativity is one of the main aspects of the thinking. Creativity from the organizational point of view means presenting a new idea and plan to improve and enhance the quality, quantity, and quality of the organization's activities. For example, increasing production, increasing servicing, and reducing production and service costs, optimal method, and new product or services. Due to growth and development of organizations and increasing their role in social communities, the activity of organizations and their impact on the various stakeholders have become increasingly important, so that the moral and social performance of the organization has a great impact on the overall performance of organization. Work ethic and creativity have a two-way relation with each other. Ethic is necessary for development and creativity of the work ethic. Therefore, using this correlation along with the growth of ethic in the organization, we can hope to develop creativity of the member of organization. Today, one of the most important issues that has been the cause of many problems for the organizations around the world is the problem caused by the corruption and unethical work in the various society. And given that today's human beings have been improved in the material, economic, scientific, and technology field, it has achieved significant results. But this regard for ethic and moral value has imposed adverse effect on the organization such as discrimination or injustice, and ultimately reduce creativity. Undoubtedly, it should be said that with any thinking, the issue of the management at the macro and macro level will be addressed. Ethic will regain its sublime status, and its denial will be to the determination of the organization in the long run. In the end, with the giving my thanks to all of you, dear ones, and thank you for bearing me for such a long speech. Let us all pray together and pray to God Almighty to restore and return and grant health, happiness, prosperity, and peace to all of the people of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your concern for COVID-affected society, your soft-spoken words of welcome, and sharing your views on the professional ethics and human relations at work. It was a detailed deliberations on the topic. And it was a real honor and privilege to have you here, sir, as our chief guest. So thank you so much once again. To acknowledge our chief guest, Dr. Hamid's contribution and devoting his valuable time for this international FDP, the organizing committee, as a token of appreciation, is presenting a certificate of honor So please accept it. So here you have your Teaching Excellence Award.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for your such a nice and valuable gift to me. And once again, I am very thankful to everybody, and I hope to see you as soon as possible and see my beloved country once again. Let us be hope for the best. Thank you very much and have a nice
Most welcome and thank you, sir. Thank you, organizers. Thank you so much. Now I invite Ms. Radhika, Head Department of English, Guru Nanak College, to give a concluding remarks on the FDP. Madam, please. Unmute yourself, madam.
Yeah. Thank you, Mama. I'm just going to give a very short concluding speech because we all have witnessed everything. I'm not going to say anything new here. I've been given the pleasant task of giving the concluding remarks for the 7-day topic. The central topic is creative thinking and professional ethics. Starting from day one, the inaugural session, the chief guest was Colonel D.V.R.K. Prasad, Chancellor, ITFA University, Meghalaya, who highlighted on various strategies of critical thinking and professional ethics, which was followed by 7 eminent resource persons. And I'm sure the participants across the world were immensely benefited out of it. And we have come to the big fat end of the program in this valedictory section. And I would like to place on record that this event has reached globally, and we had participants from almost every prominent institution across the country and the world. We had nearly 1,500 participants joining for this spectacular event, and I take this opportunity to thank all the organizers for coming out with no idea of empowering the teaching fraternity. Once again, I thank one and all. Over to Uma, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, yeah, ma'am,
thank you. Yeah. Thank you. A very short and sweet, but then really productive information, madam. Thank you. May I now call upon Dr. Anurag Agrawal ji, Chief Convener, Head, Department of Commerce, SSPG College, India, to propose the vote of thanks. So please.
Thank you, Dr. Uma Devi ji.
Thank you.
This is going to be final session of the 7-day International Faculty Development Program. Faculty Development Program enrich, train, and update the knowledge base and skill of the teachers. In Indian culture, the teacher is equated with God for the learners. God creates human beings, but humanity is created by the teacher. It is the teacher who creates a personality in a child and creates a beautiful future for a nation and society. With this, we assume that this FDP would have been very useful to the active participants. The FDP aimed at creative thinking and professional ethics. This insightful and meaningful FDP is designed by Dr. Shahid Ahmed Khan, College of Business, University of Buraiman, Oman, and Dr. Maya Lakshmi Pillai, who is convener of the FDP and Head Department of Commerce, Guru Nanak College, Chennai, and Dr. Vineet Kumar, convener of FDP and Secretary, Sahitya Darshan Sansthan, Delhi. I am heartily thankful to all of you. I acknowledge my deep gratitude towards the patrons of this International Faculty Development Program, Dr. A.K. Mishra, Principal, SS College, Shahjahanpur, UP, India. Dr. M.G. Raghunathan, Principal, Guru Nanak College, Chennai, India, and Mr. Vishweshwar Acharya, CEO, Noble Academy, Gorkha, Nepal. Because from the blessings of all you, sir, we have successfully completed this webinar with the collaboration of Indira Gandhi Research Study Center, UGC Epoch Center. Inauguration ceremony of this FDP was on 5th August 2020 by inaugural address of our chief guest, Colonel Dr. V.R.K. Prasad, Chancellor, ITFA University, Meghalaya and Nagaland. I heartily thankful to Professor Prasad, sir. I am especially thankful towards all the resource persons, Professor Nagbubaji Daniel, Nubina University, Nigeria, Dr. Shad Ahmed Khan, University of Burami, Oman, Dr. Ferdinand Ipok, University of Burami, Oman, Dr. Srinivas Madhavan, Noble Academy, Nepal, Dr. Shravan Kumar, MIT University, Noida, India, Dr. Sarim Abbas, Indian Council for Philosophical Research, India, and Professor Monica Srivastav, Dr. Gaur Hari Singhania, Institute of Management and Research, Kanpur, India, who illuminated all the participants by their knowledge and wisdom. I pay my acknowledgement towards today's guest of honor, Professor Mario B. Curatolo, CEO, MBC Management Consultants, Switzerland, who stays with us consecutive 7 days and give his blessings to all the participants given his precious time. I am especially thankful towards the guest of honor, Raja Mahmudabad, Professor Ali Khan, Ashoka University, India, former doctoral fellow, University of Cambridge, UK, for spending some of his time on a busy schedule and making our program more proud and more successful. I am thankful towards chief guest of today's session, Professor Hamid Sarim, Vice Chancellor, Asrar Higher Education Institute, deemed to be University Mashhad, Iran. I am heartily thankful to you, sir, for gracing this program as a chief guest and making this event completely with the concluding remark and blessings. I would like to express my deep gratitude to Dr. Uma Devi, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Dr. Radhika, Head Department of English, Dr. S. Savitri, Dean Academics, Dr. Kavita P., Head Department of Commerce, Dr. L.R.S. Kalandhi, Vice Principal, Guru Nanak College, Chennai, and Dr. K.K. Verma, Dr. Vijit Mishra, Mrs. Jagrati Gupta, Ms. Drilali, Ms. Antara Agarwal, Department of Commerce, SS College, Shahjahanpur, UP, India, who have threaded this entire program continuously for 7 days and have conducted it very effectively. I congratulate and thankful to 1,561 participants from Bangladesh, Ethiopia, India, Indonesia, Iraq, Nepal, Nigeria, Oman, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates for their participation and cooperation. In the end, I want to make thanks to Dr. Mr. Divyansh Mishra for smooth broadcasting of this entire program on Google Meet and YouTube for 7 days, and also thankful for his skillful operation and organization of his international faculty development program. Once again, thank you very much. Thank you to all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Myself and Radhika really want to thank Maya ma'am and all the organizers for allowing us to do this Master of Ceremony. Hope you enjoyed with our anchoring of this particular 7 days. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Thank you, organizers.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you to all. Thank you.
Thank you to all the participants.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thanks ever so much. It's been a proud, very proud.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very
much for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
After working future.
Thank you, everyone.
The program.
Thank you, Radhika.
Thank you, Maya.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, sir.
Thank you very well. Thank you, Dr. Shad Khan. I think this is a wonderful session and organized by the help of
very special thank you, Dr. Shad.
A gentle reminder to the
Thank you, Dr. Shad.
A gentle reminder to the participants, you will be receiving your certificates within 2 weeks to your respective email IDs, or you can contact me. I'll be texting my email ID if you have any queries. Thank you, and in fact, Anurag sir, Shad sir.
Thank you, Dr. Maya.
Vineet sir, so Mario sir, Monica ma'am.
I think
with
We
all
have
of
made
you.
a good team. It's a good team for organizing many other events.
So we will meet up with all
Of course, of course.
we from south to north we become a family.
Yes, yes. From south to north,
So much.
we are a family.
Also,
From south to north, from Europe to India.
From India to Nepal also. Oman and Oman.
Next year in Nepal.
Yeah, India to
Via Oman.
Via Oman.
Okay. Next year in Nepal.
Yes.
Actually, we feel like sometimes we are in Switzerland, sometimes in Nepal.
Sometimes Oman.
Majority of time in Oman.
We are almost every part of the world. So thank you for all of you for that. Giving such a good experience.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Bye
so much.
bye now. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shah. Bye.
Bye bye, sir. Bye.
Bye, sir. Jai Hind. Jai Hind.
Bye, Mohammed.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Radhika. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, madam. Bye.
Yes.